Did you hear the good news, bro?
What?
Jay-Z's finally considered a billionaire.
How's that good news for me?
It's the first hip-hop artist to be a billionaire. It's good news for the culture. For the culture, Burry.
Isn't Dr. Dre's already a billionaire?
No, he was, but Dr. Dre is like a producer. He's not like an artist, hip-hop artist, rapper.
Oh, that's a lot of nitpicking for a guy with 2 albums.
Welcome back, you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. This is the Millennial Classics with Mumburi Makaya and Swadik Mayanja. On this podcast, we talk about the best and most memorable movies, music, and culture-changing events from our generation. This week, Mumburi, tell these folks what we're talking about this week.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Yeah, I'm so excited because this week we talking about Get Rich or Die Tryin, 50 Cent's debut album, and this is the album where I wish if we had time travel like Endgame shit, I would go back and go to college when 50 Cent's Get Rich or Die Tryin came out because this is insane.
It really is insane from top to bottom. I think there's like when you listen to most albums, there's like 3 or 4 songs that you're like, song, I mean, there's maybe 1, maybe 2, and I literally put the whole list in our Google Doc so we could actually go by song, or at least talk about the ones you might not listen to or hit skip to. But top to bottom,
I tried skipping, dude. There's nothing to skip.
That's what
it's
I'm
literally
saying.
like.
It is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic. So this is like Mulberry said, this is 50 Cent's debut album, Get Rich or Die Tryin. It was released February 6, 2003. Yes, it was released by Shady Records. So Burry, do you want to talk about what's going on, what was happening in 50's life, or do you want to talk about why we chose this album first?
Let's talk about why we chose the album.
Okay.
And out of so there's a couple of like iconic albums in the 2000s.
Yes.
But why I chose this album is this is probably one, it was one of the biggest albums
most definitely
in the 2000s, and 2, it kind of, I'm not gonna say gangster rap and pop weren't mixed together, but this was kind of like the ultimate peak of like what could happen. You know, like, all right, if you want to put like southern rap and pop, you put like T.I.
Ludacris, maybe. Ludacris popped off.
Ludacris is a little bit I'd say Ludacris.
What was that song of Fast and the Furious?
No, I'm saying Live Your Life, bro. That was like the...
Yes. Yeah, no, I hear you. But Ludacris was fire for a hot second back in the 2000s. No, but I hear you. Get Rich or Die Tryin, I think, was... I mean, like, 50 Cent, like, took over the 2000s.
Out of, like a lot of people didn't know him. He's a New York rapper.
Yes.
Right? And he literally signed with Eminem and Dr. Dre the year before, after he got dropped because he got shot 9 times.
He had a mixtape out that no one listened to.
Well, we were legitimately 7 years old.
Oh yeah.
And I still remember being in elementary school and hearing in the club, hearing 21 Questions. Would you love me on a Bentley? Would you love me on a bus? These things are like ingrained in me. And this is probably what introduced so many people to rap of our age. Because this was everywhere.
Yeah.
And Eminem was the biggest rapper at the time, pretty much.
So having him part of Shady Records,
exactly,
a couple of features that M has on this album that just blow up. And you're right. No, this was the time. I remember my brother was a couple of years older than me, and he used to people would pay Faisal to make CDs and download songs from LimeWire. Believe it or not.
I remember LimeWire.
Exactly. And put it on CDs for him. People would pay Faisal to do this. And I remember. The CD phase made for both me and him was like 85% of the album, and then 1 or 2 randos. But this album took over everything. It really it took over culture. So let me give you some hard facts about why this album is super amazing. So described by AllMusic as probably the most hyped debut album by a rap artist in about a decade. Yeah. One of it debuted at #1 on the Billboard 200. It sold 872,000 copies in its first 4 days. It was
Insane.
It is insane. It was
And then
go ahead.
it sold 800,000 copies the next week too.
It didn't stop. It sold 12 million copies worldwide by the end of the year. That means 8 million copies in the U.S., and it became certified 8 times platinum. I mean, what else do you want from? And this is back in the day when you were actually buying CDs outside of the Bad Boy with LimeWiring it up. Context on who 50 Cent is at the time. We all know 50 Cent now is this big mogul, a.k.a. the most petty celebrity we have ever seen.
Yeah, I just remember everyone talking about vitamin water. Like, yo, 50 don't need to rap no more. You got vitamin water. You remember everyone talking about vitamin water?
Of course, if he did. Vitamin water was the Dr. Dre's beats before the beats. We really thought that 50 Cent was a mogul.
Yeah.
Because of vitamin water. Nevertheless, 2 years later, the dude goes bankrupt. So, just some context for the situation. So, 50 Cent at the time was shot 9 times in Queens, New York on May 24, 2000. He managed to survive, but was dropped from his label, Columbia Records. Bad move, Columbia Records. Bad move. Interscope gave Jackson his own label, G-Unit Records, in 2003. And then he signed Lloyd Banks, Tony Yayo, Young Buck as members of G-Unit. And then sometime forward, he also got The Game into it, but that ended pretty shitty. That The Game 50 Cent beef ended pretty shitty. But that's when in 2003, and that's when he dropped in 2003 is when he dropped Get Rich or Die Tryin.
But yeah, so 2002 was when he himself was signed. Eminem signed him for $1 million in 2002, and this is lot? Yeah, and this is what's wild about it is. If you think about like the rappers that come out now, like some guys might co-sign them, like it'll be like J. Cole or someone will co-sign them. This guy had Dr. Dre and Eminem like at the peak of when they were popular, saying this is the next guy up, and he came through.
He really did. Full stop, no questions, all the way through. I think this is one of them situations where we can actually go down. Like, I really want to just go down. Oh, before we even go down the list of songs, because we have the full list of songs.
And I'll place my favorite snippets.
Oh,
like 2-3 seconds. I'll edit it in. Right? Because y'all need to hear. Well, wait, first off, do you have a favorite line or a favorite moment in the entire album?
Yeah, so I actually took notes because there were too many for me to just pick one. But let me just tell you, the intro to what's it called? The intro to Heat.
Yeah.
No. I'm sorry.
Many Men?
Many Men, yes. Wish death upon
How did I
me.
know?
Oh my God. Yes, the intro to Many Men is insane. I love with the gunshots. I hope if you do play, please use that intro because I love that intro. I think that like you hear that intro and you feel like a gangster. You start getting the pat down yourself. I love that intro. But I feel like choosing In the Club is too easy for a favorite song.
I had you could tell I bootlegged this album because I had the YouTube intro for Many Men. So it was like, come on, son, we gonna do this or not? Come on, son. It had like the music video intros for all the songs. So every time cussing. Like, yeah. There was no smooth shit when I was a DJ. But but I gotta say my favorite line. So Heat is there's so many huge hits in this album.
Yeah. What
ends up happening is there's so many iconic songs that you might forget over time that as soon as you hear it again, you like instantly go back to it. So the big songs are In the Club, right? PIMP, 21 Questions, and Many Men. Those are the songs, and maybe Wanksta for the white people out there. Those are the songs that everyone recognizes off the bat. But honestly, my favorite song is If I Can't, right?
Wait, really?
If I Can't. Yo, you know that song?
Yes.
Yeah, that's my favorite song in the whole album.
Oh, I think that's super underrated. Well, I think that's an undercover good pick. So 21 Questions is by far my favorite song because 21 Questions is like the entire album from top to bottom until you get to 21 Questions is like hardcore gangster.
Yeah.
You're like afraid. You get to 21 Questions and this is 50 Cent's trying to serenade some young ladies and I'm like, holy shit. The fact that he flipped that. The fact that he got 21 Questions in this hardcore gangster rap album is...
And Dr. Dre didn't want 21 Questions on the album. 50 had to fight for it. Yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, I'm not joking. Dr. Dre was like, dude, this is a hard-ass album. How are you going to have 21 Questions on it? And he was like, y'all know I got a South Side.
But it blew up. Well, good for 50 Cent for choosing that song because it was fantastic. Just to give you, I know you just mentioned the 4 songs that everyone knows, but I just want to let the people know. In the club, 50 Cent's first song was his first song on Billboard's Hot 100, and it was there for 9 weeks. And it was on the charts for 22 weeks in total. His second single, 21 Questions, became 50 Cent's second chart topper on Billboard's Hot 100. And then his third single, PIMP, peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100. That's 3 songs, 1 album, all in the Billboard Top 100, yep. 2 of which hit number 1. It's a fantastic album. So obviously you have your favorite song. So if I can... obviously, you have your favorite song, but Burry, do you have a least favorite song?
I gotta say, Bloodhound, probably.
Yeah. So going down the list, that was one. So there was 2 songs for me that I was like, maybe not so much. High All the Time and then Bloodhound were the 2 songs for me that I like. It's they're not bad. Just
no. High All the Time's good. It's just on the nose, but it's a good song. It's like all right. So there's a couple things. First off, in Heat, my favorite. So 50's got this thing of like you could tell he's a funny dude.
Yeah.
But he's still trying to be like he's dangerous, funny, right? So he's got this thing like my heart bleeds for you. I can't wait to get to you. Behind that twinkle in your eyes, I can see the bitch in you. Yeah, that shit always gets me.
It says, I can't wait to get to you. Behind that twinkle in your eyes, I can see the bitch in you.
Yo, that's my favorite line in the whole album.
Oh, my God.
So what I wanted to talk to you about this album, right?
Wait, say that again?
What I wanted to talk to you about this album,
yes,
is the fact that like very few times someone new comes out with a debut album. It has hits, it's like successful, but it also like is so hit that person's sound that like they instantly become like known for that, you know?
Yeah.
Like the last time this happened for me was YG My Crazy Life. When that dropped, I literally never heard of YG.
Yeah.
And then in the span of like he dropped the album My Nigga Left Right, Who Do You Love and Do It To You. Yeah. And it's like classic West Coast sound. And I was like, all right, yeah, I'm a big fan, you know? Okay. Like most people, they roll out, like even Kendrick, he had the mixtapes, Section 80. Then he had Good Kid, Mad City, and like they gain fans slowly. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, no. I feel, I get it. But I would say, you don't think Cardi B?
Cardi B's would be my next one too.
Yeah, because so Cardi, like, that's her sound.
Like, yeah, she came out. She has an iconic sound. Mm-hmm. She has hits. It's like as soon as you hear her, you know who she is and what song she's gonna do, but she still like delivers.
And low key, Cardi B might be the female version of 50 Cent.
Yeah, I think she's like funny. She's definitely hard.
Yeah,
and
she's got the bars too.
Yeah, and she's got bars.
Yeah, I don't know. That's
a hot take, but I kind of like the comparison.
Yeah, no. Agreed. Okay, so a couple of questions I have for you. So obviously we both love this album, right? It's clear to everybody we love this album. If this album came out today, would it be as impactful? Would it be that big of a hit? do you think it could keep up with everything that's going on today, or have we moved way too far away from the gangsta rap?
I think I honestly was gonna say, you like to think that like a hit is a hit no matter where, but I have to say, I think we moved so far away. I mean, and there's no autotune. There's no like, there's no singing.
That's not it. You think this autotune is necessary?
No, I'm just saying like how far it is from our sound.
Oh yeah,
it's like, okay. But I have to say, I still think it would be a hit. In the Club is one of those songs where
it'll be a hit forever.
It'll be a hit forever.
Time.
I think they still play it at weddings. You know, some of the lower songs, like maybe Many Men and that kind of stuff, maybe wouldn't be as big, right? Because it's not like that era anymore. But In the Club, 21 Questions. I mean, you could see Drake coming out with the 21 Questions type deal
most definitely. But I think the appeal of 21 Questions for me was because it was 50 Cent singing it. I think if Drake came out with 21 Questions, I'd be bored. Like, it would piss me off. I think the fact that it came out, the way it came out, and who sang it, that made it special for me. But at the same time, it was a great hit. And I also have to say, like, this is like gangsta rap. Did 50 Cent come up with the word wangster? Or was that like a term that people were using at the time?
I honestly, that's a good question. And I want to say that it didn't stick, so.
It definitely didn't stick, but it's catchy. It really is catchy. But also with the PC culture, I hate to be that guy, Burry, but I don't think that PIMP would carry a lot of, it would get shot down fairly quickly nowadays.
PIMP was, I think I posted something on like Facebook or some shit about like years later about PIMP.
Yeah.
Like when I was like in middle school or late elementary school, and like my dad saw it and we had like a conversation about
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah, dude, you can't be posting 50 Cent lyrics in front of your parents, bro. That's a lesson I learned. I learned that lesson that day.
Respect. A couple more questions, and then we'll wrap this up. 50 Cent Today. Let's talk about 50 Cent Today and what that album, Get Rich or Die Trying. Obviously, it shot him up. Like he came out, biggest album of the year, went platinum. All of these things, right?
And he had a huge beef with Ja Rule.
He did have a huge beef with Ja Rule. Yeah, no, sad.
Good. The diss track in it. Back Down, great song. Mm-hmm. It's not an all-time diss track, but it's up there. He really goes after Ja Rule. You can tell he really doesn't like him.
Almost definitely.
And the funniest thing about 50 is like now he's like super petty, but it seemed like he's always been super petty.
Yeah, no, you just pick it up now more because he has social media, so you see his pettiness every single goddamn day. But there's no doubt in me that he has been this petty his entire life.
There's a documentary, multi-part documentary called Beef, and it talks about all these rap beefs. And the only dude that shows up a bunch of times to talk shit about Ja Rule is 50, dude. Like, they talk about Jay and all this shit, and like Jay doesn't show up. Jay is got business deals and shit. 50 is like comes through to talk some shit, bro.
Of course, that's what 50 would do. And we have to mention they made a movie, Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah,
it was
and a
many
video
years
game.
later.
Remember the video game? This is how big
they did not. They did not make a video game.
You don't remember the video game?
I don't think I ever played the video game, Burry.
Dude,
are you serious? Oh my God! They made a video game?
Yeah, bro. I think I owned it for PSP or something.
That's amazing. This dude is insane. He really knows, like, when he hit that home run, he was gonna take as much out of it as he possibly could. Non-stop the whole way around.
Oh, bulletproof.
Bulletproof. Okay.
Yeah, and he had a movie. I mean, this dude.
Go ahead.
50 Cent really like it tailed off because he had The Massacre. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much like the opposite of like basically his debut was like his peak.
Yeah. No,
Not in terms of like I mean, probably culturally too, but like in terms of like artistically. Best album is his first album.
You don't think I don't know. The thing about 50, which I think he picked up from Jay-Z, maybe he didn't pick it up from Jay-Z, maybe that's just his mindset, but he gets into a little bit of everything. Him with Power, I mean, like, that's huge, Burry.
Yeah, Power is big.
Power is humongous. That is like culture, everywhere, right? The vitamin water thing was fire for however long that lasted. Like, he's really about his money. And like 50 Cent today, I don't know without Get Rich or Die Trying if he would ever be this big, but he just seems like the kind of dude that he will figure out a way to make it. No matter, like, respect to him. I always thought that he pushed way too much. Like, his beef with Ja Rule was a little much. His beef with the game, I was like, you guys need to stop the whole G-Unit thing. He was hardcore gangster rap. He lived it. He breathed it. He walked it. And I always like that a little too much on that, but he is who he is, and you can't say he isn't. Like, and that's who 50 is, and you got to respect him for at least, you know, being honest with the fans, with the people. Like, I'm not gonna be different for nobody's.
So the Massacre sold 1.1 million copies first 4 days, and then 5 million in the U.S. and 15 worldwide.
Yeah, does not compete at all.
But it also has bangers. Disco Inferno, Candy Shop, just a little bit out of control.
Oh, Candy Shop is fire.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yo, 50 Cent got good music, bro.
But then, like, he hit, like, there was that moment. I distinctly remember the moment in 2007 when he dropped Curtis, same time as Kanye.
Oh, yeah. That was...
And they, like, went head-to-head, and Kanye beat him. And, I was just like, and then that was just like 50 Cent after that musically.
There's no, it's not that.
He had a moment. You remember that song Ayo Technology?
Yo, was that with Justin Timberlake?
Yeah.
What, Timberlake?
Dude, I remember that shit, bro.
Yeah, that shit was really shitty. That was sad. No, it was catchy. It was catchy. It was good for a radio play for a couple of weeks, but that's it. That's absolutely it. That's absolutely it. That's a funny thing you say that, because I right now couldn't tell you the last good 50 song he came out with, bro. I really couldn't. Like, I'm right now. I'm on my. I'm on iTunes, and I'm trying to look at anything that 50 made
recently, right?
Recently, and I have to say, I can't. Oh shit, man.
I mean, it's sad to say, but him and Lil Wayne. Actually, Lil Wayne stayed relevant for longer, but and I think we're gonna end up doing the Carter 3 soon too.
We might have to.
But it's almost the same now. I mean, like Lil Wayne. Actually, Lil Wayne's still way more relevant than 50 musically. 50 is just like he does Power.
Yeah, and that's it.
And he's bullies people on Instagram.
And right now, this is Apple Music because I use Apple Music. I don't know what other streaming services are, but when you go to 50's top songs, five of the top 10 are all Get Rich or Die Trying, and 3 of the top 5 are Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah.
It's 21 Questions, In the Club, and then it's something he features something with Chief Keef, Many Men, and then it's PIMP. It's Get Rich or Die Trying is really
no Ayo Technology.
No Ayo Technology, sir. No the Ayo Technology. All right, you guys. So that's Get Rich or Die Trying. I mean, it really is by far in a way 50 Cent's greatest artistry when it comes to music. But yeah,
one of the few albums you can play start to finish, and I think that's its impact is like
most definitely,
big hip hop, hardcore rap, but also poppy, classic 50, and it's like defining. It what I like about it.
Exactly, because this is when he came onto the scene and he blew up in a huge way. Yeah,
it's a classic.
That's it. and it was an instant classic, but it's definitely a
Millennial classic.
There
Yeah.
you go. It's a millennial classic. All right, catch y'all guys next week. Thank you guys for
Peace.
listening. Peace.